Good evening, fans, and welcome to Country Night here at the Athletic and Wellness Center, home of your Centennial Colts. Colts women's volleyball take on the Algonquin Wolves from Ottawa. We please ask you to rise and remove your caps to the playing of our national anthem. Introducing your starting lineup for the Algonquin Wolves. From Ottawa, Ontario, 5'5", Libero, number 1, Danica St. Louis. From Ottawa, Ontario, 5'3", Libero, number 5, Jordan Fay. From Gatineau, Quebec, 5'10", middle, number 8, Isabel Torga. From Ottawa, Ontario, 5'10", left side, number 9, Chanel Ether. From Ottawa, Ontario, 5'8", left side, number 10, from Gatineau, Quebec, 5'6", center, number 13, Gabby Paquette. From London, Ontario, 5'10", right side, number 16, Natasha Lazaro. And rounding out the roster from Ottawa, Ontario, 5'9", middle, number 20, Riley Francia. And behind the bench is Everton Senior, his 31st year with the Algonquin Wolves.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Athletic Wellness Center as the Centennial Colts get set to take on Algonquin. Centennial enters tonight at 3-5 this season, led by Jacqueline Ronquillo, who ranks 3rd in the OCAA in kills per set and top 5 in hitting percentage, who is also out of the lineup. At net, Andrea Rojas, who is also out of the lineup, but leads in blocks per set, giving the Colts a strong presence defensively. Algonquin comes into the matchup with a 5-3 record, setting the stage for a competitive contest. Opening serve is coming up next.
Serving for the Colts, number 7, Christine Louise.
All right, we are back. As the Wolves get a point. A little bit of a defensive issue there by the Colts. Didn't have someone on the left. Here comes the Wolves with the serve. It's going to be Gabrielle. Sets it up. And Sophia with the light touch and gets the point. A little bit of a defensive mishandle by the Wolves, and it's 1-all. It will be Katie Deering serving for the Colts. Here she goes. Deep, and it is a service error, which results in a point for the Wolves. It's going to be Tanthori going for the serve, up high. Gets it in deep. A nice setup, and it is a block, but a great dig by the Wolves. A great setup, and it is deep. So both teams getting a point off of a long hit. It's looking forward to being a competitive matchup between the two. It's going to be Sophia for the Colts. Sophia Araujo. She puts it up short and gets it in where she wants to. A great setup and a slam. Great idea by the Colts, but the block point just didn't go over. Kind of grazed the hand a little and fell short. It's going to be the Wolves with the serve. Sets it up high. Gets all the way back to Ava Hamilton. And it is a kill for the Colts. A great slam for Deering. Here is Zoe, a new acquisition for the Colts. Gets a great serve in. Goes for the block point, but a great hit by the Wolves, who just puts it over and avoids the block point. So it's looking like a competitive contest between the two. Both teams not slipping away as the Wolves get a service error. So that is the first service error of the matchup. Both teams ready to get into the win column as the Colts are on a 4-game losing streak, so they want to get back into that playoff matchup. A great serve, and she gets a service ace. So the Colts are in as Sabrina Mora gets a service ace. Like I said, a new acquisition for the Colts. Here she goes again and gets another service ace. So we know head coach Andrew Mallory is enjoying what he's seeing from his new acquisition in the lineup. So can she go 3 for 3 here? Zoe just spins on her a little and just goes out of bounds, but gets the 2 points, so gets her job done. Here for the Wolves, it's going to be Chanel Ether puts it up short. And it's going to be Zoe who taps it in, and he goes for the kill, but a great dig by the Wolves, and the set was just not there. And Zoe Acosta just slips on it a little. So it's going to result in a point. Let's look at that replay. A great setup and a nice kill. The dig was there, but just a bit too hard. And that looked like it might have been going out, but didn't want to risk the play. And here it goes for the kill, but just a bit too long. It's a great idea by the Colts. Going in for the slam. But just too much power on it. So again, it's going to be Chanel. And it goes long as Ava Hamilton decided she did not want to play with that. So Kristen Richia for the Colts. Trying to give them a lead. Here she goes. Kristen, a great serve. Just almost grazed the top of the net. And a beautiful kill by the Wolves. No chance of saving that. That was like a 90-degree angle spike. So you don't want to put the volleyball in a position where a team like the Wolves can just get free kills. Here comes the serve. Beautiful by Ava Hamilton. And she gets the point. So Ava Hamilton is the libero for the Colts, and it was just a great save. Sets it up, and a beautiful kill. Now it's going to be Kristen Dawn Ruiz, who just came back, I believe, from an injury, and it's going to result in a service error as the Wolves get a point. And it's first to 25 for the new viewers coming in. First to 3 sets. A great service by the Wolves. Sophia thought about it, got met by the block point, but it does not matter. So a bit of a defensive error by the Wolves. They wanted to go for the block point. Let's look at that. Got it up, but the angle was just not there, and he just got put in a spot that was just open. So a well-earned point for the Colts. A hard service, but a great dig. And it is long, just by a fraction of a millimeter, and the Colts get that. So a lot of service errors and a lot of spikes just going a bit too long into the side. Not a lot of long rallies going on, but the Colts take the edge, 10-9. So the libero goes into the libero, and it goes long again. So the Colts get the largest lead, which is 2. It's been usually a 1-point lead for both teams. So she found her area, but almost on the line, but just a bit too long. So it's the Colts again, and that's going to be Katie Deering. And that's going to result in a service error. I know both coaches are anticipating long rallies, but either way, a great matchup. So a nice dig, and here going in for the slam, and she gets the point. Thought there may have been a net violation. Both teams looking at the refs, so let's just look at that quickly. No, it was pretty clear. It was the volleyball hitting the net after the follow through, so it almost looked like it was a net violation. But anyway, Sophia gets the service in. A great setup and a nice dig by Sophia. And it is Zoe who gets the point for the Colts. Sorry, it's Sabrina Mora, the new acquisition as well, along with Zoe Acosta. So Sabrina Mora making a name for herself in this first set. Here is Sofia Araujo. Service right to the libero, and an attempt to just tap it in, but a great dig by the Colts, and a block point was almost met at the top, which results in a Colts point. It looked like it looked pretty tight. I didn't know if it was on the line or not, but referee calls it the other way. So Sophia giving the Colts a margin. Look for the libero to be more active. As it goes right to her, right over her actually, and it results in a Wolves point. So a service error for the Colts. Let's look at that. Right to the libero, just over her head. So great positioning by her. The Wolves put it in deep, and this needs to go over as Ava Hamilton had the idea, a great idea, but the volleyball was just set way too out of bounds. Now it's going to be Isabella for the Wolves as the Colts fans make noise. Ava Hamilton, the libero. Great dig by her. And it's going to be Katie Deering going in for the spike and kill, but gets met by the net there as the Wolves are inching back. We're down 14-10. Now it's 3 straight points for them. A great service right to Deering. Gets the ball in, but Zoe Acosta just hits it a bit too long to the left. And it is all tied up, so 4 straight points by the Wolves. As Ava Hamilton checks back into the game. Katie Deering just taps it, almost like a push. Gets it over. And a great attempt at a dig there, but just slips on the Colts right there. So Isabella Tarangu getting 5 straight points for the Wolves. The Colts don't want her in the service much. Here comes Zoe with the slam, and there's the point. So a nice point. So subs being made as Camille Ray Brown checks in and will be servicing. Camille Ray Brown coming in off the bench. She makes her first attempt at the service. And it is a great serve, but a nice dig. And here comes a slam. And that was a nice kill by the Wolves. Put the volleyball in a difficult position and kind of trapped themselves almost. That's a given point to a team like the Wolves. So you can't put it in their sweet spot. I'm going to make you pay on that one. Katie Deering taps it up. And Mr. Rachia, who gets met at the top again. A nice dig by the Wolves. And it is a confusion. So a bit of that is going to result in a defensive error for the Colts. As Giovanna Pulowski talking it over with her teammates. Was kind of sitting up there, didn't know who should have got that one. And a service error, so a point for the Colts. As libero Ava Hamilton checks out. And it will be Atria Katabi checking in. And Sabrina Mora with the service and goes for the dig. But a nice kill by the Wolves right to her. So a timeout by head coach Andrew Mallory, and we will be back shortly.
So if you got some cornhole skills, I want to know so that you can come on down and compete in our real game. Wake up in the morning.
We are back as the Colts regroup. Had a great start, but it looks like the Wolves are kind of slipping away with this. A nice set, and here comes the kill. Gets met at the top. There's a great block. And Sabrina Mora just didn't get all of it on it and hits the middle of the net. So an error for the Colts. Here's the Wolves. Ava Hamilton sets it up. Katie Deering just taps it over. It gets put in, and she puts the Wolves in a difficult spot. And Ava Hamilton sends it over again. Now a nice rally. Both teams just jumping at the top. But the block point goes towards the Wolves, so they're slipping away with this one. It looked like the Colts had the advantage 14-10, but a great response by the Wolves. Here comes the service. Ava Hamilton has been excellent in the libero position. A nice tap by Richiha. Goes for the block. Sends it over to Katie Deering, who just lightly taps it over, and a point for the Colts. So a much needed point for the Colts. That was the error on the Wolves. And the Colts will take it. So it is Christian Richia for the Colts. Sets it up right to the libero and fakes the slam, the spike again. But a great recovery by the Colts. And here comes the block point, but a kill for the Wolves. So we've seen many of those fake spikes. And this one wasn't a fake. So the Colts are biting on the block point, but it just goes right over them. So great strategy by the Wolves. This one gets tossed way up in the air. It almost looked like a violation, but regardless goes out. It's 22-17 for the visitors. As the Wolves trying to close this first set out. So a bit of a regroup by the Wolves. A lot of strategy on those block points. You know, they make the Colts just jump. Both of them jump, and when they do jump, a gap opens up on that side, and it just goes softly into that area and forces the libero to just come diving forward, and causes a bit of havoc on the defensive side. So you can see the strategy implementing very well for the Wolves, as head coach Andrew Mallory making some adjustments with his team. Ava Hamilton sends it up, but a violation as it hits the roof. So Ava Hamilton has been really, really good in the libero position for the Colts, but that one just a bit too hard as a net violation for the Wolves. So it's going to have to be the Colts getting a few here in order to possibly take this first set. It's going to be Giovanna Pulowski. Lightly taps it over, and it somehow gets over. So a nice service point for the Colts. They're inching back into this. Here's Giovanna Pulowski. Puts it in hard, and it doesn't go to the libero. And that one is a kill for the Colts. No chance of saving that. And we've seen many times in that right spot, it just gets set up. Yeah, no chance of saving that one. That goes over past the libero. So Ava Hamilton for the Colts just directing some of her teammates. And it's game point for the Wolves. A light tap in on the serve, So this one's going to have to go to Katie Deering. Slams it down for the nice kill. I think that might have touched the line, so let's look at that again on the instant replay. Yeah, just a few feet ahead of the line into a nice spot. So Katie Deering puts it in. Block point almost, but it gets punched over. And it looks like the Colts are not out of this one too early, so do not count them out. Let's look at that. It looked like a block point was going to be on the way, but the Wolves just hit it out. So it's going to have to be Katie Deering to tie this one up if the Colts are going to want to take this first set. And it is a jinx by me, and the Wolves do take the first set. So it is 1-3. And we will be back for set 2 as it is going to begin shortly within 3 minutes. So we are back for set 2 as the Wolves take the first one. Not winning by a lot, so look for a response by the Colts. Here comes the Wolves as it goes right to Sabrina. And a slam by Katie Deering. Doesn't get the spike to go through. And the Guests take an early 1-0 lead. So it's the Wolves again with a soft touch. It just fools the Colts right there. It looked like it was going to come in hard. And this is where the Wolves are most effective, when they get the perfect setup. That one doesn't touch anything. And Sophia with the slam. But a nice dig by the Wolves. And a nice dig by the Colts as well. And it's a service rally going on. And it is a kill for the visitors. So let's look at that. They just set him up in that spot. She got to pick her spot and go down for the kill. So the service ace. A bit of a communication error for the Colts, as it was in between two players, so both didn't know, between three players actually, so didn't know, a bit of a miscommunication there. So that one goes long, results in the first Colts point, as it's going to be Kristen Dawn Ruiz servicing in for the Colts. Look for her to try building a margin. And a hard one goes right to the libero of the Wolves. And Sophia goes for the spike, but a dig by the Wolves, and it's Ava Hamilton keeping the dig alive. And a point for the Wolves. So it looks like a bit of errors going on for the Colts and not getting the ball over the net. This time for the Wolves, it's going to be Carries Denthori going in, and she launches that one wide. So the Colts getting both of their points off of some errors. Katie Deering for the Colts. Just skims the net, and a service ace for Katie Deering. Those ones are a bit tricky when you see it coming in hard, and then it just kind of slows down as it grazes the top of the net. So Katie Deering again. Puts it in hard. That one goes right to Kristen. Kristen Dawn Ruiz hits it down the back middle blocker, and a kill for the Colts. A kill for the Wolves, as Chanel Ether gets it through. And it looks like the Wolves are going to Chanel a lot. And it's a bit of her sweet spot. You see her getting a few kills in that area. Service goes into Kristen. Sophia with the kill. No chance of saving that one. So Sophia making her mark in the service area. She puts it in, and it's a service error. So like I said again, the second set resulting in some free points for the Wolves as the ball doesn't get over. Let's look for the Wolves as they get a service error as well. So that's going to be Natasha Lausen getting the service error, a starter for the Wolves. Now Jordan Haggerty, as our first service goes in, and it goes in long. So both team trading off of points off of a service error. Now it's going to be Chanel, who's been really good for the Wolves. She hits it in hard right to Eva Hamilton. That goes to Richia. Gets met. And it looks like a kill for the Wolves. So gets that one through as Chanel Etsy getting some points for the Wolves. And a service here for the Wolves. Now it's going to be Sabrina Mora. So Sabrina Mora puts it in hard right to the libero. They don't waste too much time on that. And a point for the Wolves as it skims the fingertips of the Colts. So not a lot of rallies going on in this one, but points being made. So a hard service by the Wolves. I think it's put in a tricky spot for them, but they collect it. And a nice dig by the Colts as Katie Deering gets the point. Yeah, she gets the point. Didn't know who that was going to go towards. Let's look at that again. Yeah, both teams calling for the point, but the Colts get that one. So I didn't even know myself who was going to get that one. And it's Richia for the Colts servicing it in. Kristen Donnery sets it up for Sophia. She wants it again. Doesn't get it as it slips on, Katie Deering. So, like I've mentioned plenty of times, the ball not getting over for the Colts, which are resulting in some free points, but they're playing much better in this second set. And a nice service by the Wolves, and it goes right to the back as a kill for the Colts. No chance of saving that, just bounced off of one of the Wolves' bodies, and a free point for the Colts. So a service here again for the Colts as Kristen Don Ruiz doesn't get that one over. Now it's going to be the Wolves trying to build on this lead as that one goes long and results in a point. So a service error for the Wolves as the lead is now cut down to only 2. So the home team trailing by 2. Now it's going to be Katie Deering, a starter for the Colts. That one goes way far. So that one was a bit way too hard and gets the point off of that service here. So the Wolves getting it in as that looked like the Colts were going to play that one, but another miscommunication. So yeah, a bit of a miscommunication there as head coach Andrew Mallory calls a timeout. So some of these points are off of some miscommunications and the ball not getting over. The rallies have been fine for the Colts. So the head coach wants to talk things over so this lead does not slip away. So we'll be back shortly after this timeout. back after this timeout as the Wolves put it in hard, but some communications there as a spike for the Colts results in a point. Let's look at that one. So a point for the Colts. I didn't know if it got over the net. It just kind of bounced back into the Colts defensive zone. Nonetheless, a point. As Sophia gets it in, so a service ace for Sophia. Let's look at that one again. Puts it hard and low. Very difficult spot for the Wolves to retrieve that one. As a formation change for the Colts, and this one just goes way long. So that one slips a bit on them. And now it's Natasha Lausen for the Wolves. Sets it up high as the Colts fans make some noise. Goes in for the block point, but taps it to the side. And they get that point. Colts fan now making a lot of noise. As Kristen, this one has to go over, and it does. As Sabrina Mora taps that one over, but a nice point for the Wolves. So Natasha Lausen will stay as the service. Gets that one, and it is a service ace. So didn't know if they wanted to play that, was the Colts. It looked like a 50-50 ball right there, but goes in the favor of the Wolves. So Lausen gonna stay on. That one goes right to Deering. As a nice tap, so they're kind of stealing each other's playbook over here as a kill for the Wolves. That lead's kind of slipping away. Let's look at that. That one was spiked in hard right to Eva Hamilton. Great attempt by her, but can't put the Wolves in a position where they can get those type of spikes. And that gets the point for the Colts. It looked like it may have grazed the line from my angle, but ref seen otherwise. So the Colts cannot let this one slip away as well. Now it's going to be Brown checking in for the Colts. She will be on the service side. Gets that one in. Here comes a spike. Gets met at the top. So a nice block. So a nice dig by the Colts. So some great attempts there by the Colts. They got a nice block. A good dig right after that spike. See a nice dig. Block point goes towards the Wolves. So Chanel will be servicing for the Wolves. Chanel Etier for the Wolves. Bit of a delay here, but it looks like Chanel will be going up, and it goes long. So a great read by the Colts, so getting that free point. Sabrina Mora going in for the service. We want to chop down this 6-point lead. Goes right to the libero, and a dig by the Colts. But a spike by the Wolves that results in a kill. So the Wolves just picking their spots now and getting those kills. Here comes the Wolves again. Goes right to Ava Hamilton. And it kind of grazed her shoulder a little, so put the ball in an awkward position for the Colts. As head coach Andrew Mallory wants to talk a few things over with his team. So we'll be back shortly. We are back after this timeout, and it's righty Lancia putting in on Ava Hamilton. And Rachia gets the spike. So Kristen Rachia getting that point. Great kill by her. Picks her spot. And battling her team through this. Mariana Mercado Meja for the Colts. Service right to the libero. A block point, and the Wolves player just didn't know where it was, but it just grazes her elbow, and a point for the Colts. Colts, after this timeout, building off of 2 straight points. Here's Mercado again. Gets it in on the libero. Here comes the tip, and it is a dig. Looked like it was a point, but watch out for the spike, and it doesn't come actually. It goes long. So a bit of a fumble, a bit of an error, honestly, for the Wolves. As Mariana Mercado Meja giving her team some points and confidence. Late in this one, but a bit short on the service. As the Wolves are now on the service side. So here comes the service to Eva Hamilton. Hits it up nice. So a great dig. Here comes the block point. And the Wolves have been really good at that. A lot of tall player for the Colts up front, but the tip goes over them, and it just lands in a spot where there is no one. So a great read by the Wolves right there. And this one just goes a bit too long. So game point for the visitors here. Brown hits it up for Sophia. Gets that point on Chanel. So the Colts are going to have a miraculous comeback here if they want to keep their hopes alive in winning this. This isn't it for the night for them, actually. 3 sets wins it. But they would want some confidence to get back into this one. As a dig by the libero. Sets it up. Here. Sets it up for Kristen Dawn Ruiz. Sorry, Deering. But Brown sets it up. Taps it over. A dig by the Wolves. Hits it over as Eva Hamilton gets it, and Sophia gets the point for the Wolves. So great strategy by the Colts thus far. They're playing with more poise and playing with more strategy here rather than just hitting the ball whenever it comes near them. So setting it up, great communication. Almost a service ace for the Colts, but kind of slips away on them, and this may be, it actually gets it over. So a dig by the Colts here, and a point for the visitors. So great idea by the Colts late in the game. So head coach Andrew Mallory is giving his team some confidence to get back in this one. But the Wolves get that one through, as that does it for the second set. So we will be back very shortly for the third set. So we are back for possibly a final set for the Colts. If they do not win this set, they're actually going to have to win 2 sets in a row to force a final set. So it's going to be Kristen Dawn Ruiz for the Colts. It's a great start off as things were spoken. And as I say that, I jinx it for the Colts. And a bit too long for Ava Hamilton as the tip goes in the way of the visitors. So Wolves on the service again. Ava Hamilton sets it up. And I don't know how that point was resulted in, but it may have touched the ground, but regardless, the point for the Wolves. Great setup. I believe that was a net violation again. Let's look at it again. Didn't see much there. A lift maybe? Yeah, I think maybe a lift. So a violation there. So 2 violations back to back. So not a great start by the Colts in a do or die set. Eva Hamilton right to Sophia. Gets mad at the top, but a point for the Colts regardless as she cheers her team on. Sophia Araujo. And Kristen, it's going to be Katie Deering on the service for the Colts. Puts it up high and hard. A spike coming through. And Katie Deering apologizes to her teammates. A bit of an error on her positioning right there. She committed to a tip almost, but the tip went over her head right there. So the Wolves get the point there as I say that, a service error for the Wolves, which results in a point for the home team. Sophia Araujo. Trying to give her team some confidence, as that one just goes a bit too shallow, and that is a point for the visitors. So back-to-back service errors in this one. Almost looked like a service error, but just took a dive at the last second. Here comes the spike, and it is good. So kill for the visitors as they take on a 6-2 lead. And for the Colts, you can't let this one slip away. The service comes in. It's going to go right to Richia, actually. Sorry, that goes to Jordan Haggerty. So causes a defensive error for the visitors. Let's look at that again. Yeah, a defensive error for the visitor. It came right to her, but sometimes it just skims the fingertips and it puts the ball in an awkward position. So now it's going to be Colts on the service side. Here it comes in, a hard service. And yeah, as I say that, yeah, even harder spike and kill for the visitors. And for the Colts, they can't lose confidence, as this one isn't slipping away. It's just 7-3, so can't let the visitors pile on, especially a team like Algonquin. That one goes between 2 players. Brown taps it over. Watch out for the service block. And Richia felt like she could have gotten that one through, but doesn't get that one to go. as Natasha Lausen puts a great service in. Brown lightly taps it over. So that one was near the front, and that's going to be too many touches by the Colts. That one, a block point. I don't know if it's going to result in a block point or a defensive error, but nonetheless, a point for the visitors. So a 9-3 lead for them. Can't let them build off of this one if you're the Colts. So this one, a hard spike by the Colts, but they keep it alive, and the visitors are pulling away with this one. That was a good rally by both teams right there. And she just went straight down the line for the kill. Here comes the service. A nice attempt at the dig by Sabrina Mora, but head coach Andrew Mallory has seen enough, and he wants to talk a few things over with his team. So we will be back in a few after this timeout. We are back after that short timeout as Lausanne for the Wolves commits the service here. And for the Colts, it's going to have to be some points here as Atria Katabi comes back into this one. A hard service for the Colts, and they get that service ace. Sabrina Mora has been really effective for the Colts. Again, a new acquisition for them. So she's doing very well in this game. Wow, oh, just gets robbed of the service here with Sabrina, but it's going to be Deering hitting it over, and that one goes long for the Wolves. So we see head coach Andrew Mallory, usually after timeouts, rallying his team back into this one. So you know a few adjustments are going to be made for the visitors, as they do not want the home team coming back into this one. That one goes out, as the Colts get a quick 3 points off of this one. Now it's going to be Christian Riccia. A service in beautifully right to the libero, and I don't know what that was. Maybe a net violation. It's kind of hard to tell when you're out here because the net moves, but you can't tell if it was because of the ball or a follow through. So Riccia rallying her team back into this one. And that one goes short. So the visitors are happy to see that one come through, as a bit of nerves came in. 3 straight points for them. And another point for the visitors. So the Colts losing by 7 here, as Riley Lancia gets it in. It's going to go to Sophia, who's going to slam it home for the point. So a kill for Sophia right there. Very effective kill for her. So entering into the game now is Kristen Dawn Ruiz. So here's Kristen Dawn Ruiz servicing it in. Ava Hamilton sets it up, and Sophia gets met at the top. And a bit of a miscommunication there. I believe Centennial thought they didn't get 3 touches on that one, looking things over, but it appears to be so. Kristen Dawn Ruiz sets it up as Deering gets the point. It looked like both teams pointing to the line right there. Let's look at that one again. Deering that one just picks the corner on that one. So the visitors on their heels, and that one took a dive at the end. It looked like it was going to go way out of bounds, but it really doesn't matter. Still a point for the visitors as a service error for the Colts keep piling on. So for the Wolves, a service grazes the rim, but there's Ava Hamilton at the back, just lightly lofting it over. Block point coming through, and this is where the Wolves get dangerous when they set up for the slam. And as I say that, a kill for the visitors. Can't put the Wolves in position where they set up and go for the spike. They didn't miss much when they were put in positions like that, as Ava Hamilton takes most of that one. Sophia gets the kill for the Colts. And can't let the Wolves get into the 20s, because when they get into that point, they usually execute very well. So some substitution being made. And now it's going to be Mariana Mercado Meja for the Colts. And, you know, she can rally really well here. Here she goes. Goes in for the service. And Luzon for the Wolves gets the kill. Look at that one again. She likes going down, straight down. You know, you see a lot of players going diagonally across the playing field, but not Luzon. So here's some players checking in for the Wolves. As a fake by the Kristen Dawn Ruiz, but doesn't get that one over. Timeout. Home team, as the visitors pile on a 19-10 lead. So we'll be back shortly after this timeout. You're back after that timeout. As the Wolves set it in as in a service error. So it's going to be Anna Marie Valente getting that service here. For the Colts. Putting it in deep. Right to the libero. And that one goes out. So 2 quick points for the Colts. Gets that one in for the Colts. Set up, a block point coming in, but Christian Don Ruiz gets that one as Richia just taps it in. Block point coming in. And taps it over. Lazan gets that one for the Wolves. Long goes for the Wolves. 3 straight points for the Wolves right here. As Atria Katabi comes in for Ava Hamilton. So Jordan Haggerty had some moments right there, but goes long on her. That one comes in hard. That service was a bit too hard. And Katie Deering just put all of that into that spike, but that one goes way deep. And if the Colts are going to come back into this one, they're going to have to play a very, very structured game. This one comes in hard, but gets over, so a dig by the Colts. And that one fakes out everyone. It looked like it was going to go up high, but comes down hard at a 90 degree. It looks like the visitors are slipping away with this one. That comes in hard, actually, down. Few things are being spoken about with the libero of the Colts. So a bit of a delay here, but it looks like things are ready to resume on this rodeo night for the Colts. A service here for the Wolves, and the Colts pick up a point. As Atria Katabi checks into this one. And a service here for the Colts. So not a lot of chances on the rally for the Colts, as the service errors have piled up on them. That one goes between 3 players, but a dig by the Colts. And a block point, it looks like, but counts as a dig and slips on Katie Deering again. So match point and set point, and this will wrap it up for the women's game if Algonquin gets this to go. So service coming in hard, and a point for the visitors. So that will wrap it up for the women's game. And here, that will do it for the women's game. It was a competitive contest, both teams showing strong stretches throughout the match, but the Colts will be back actually tomorrow, January 17th, right here in the Athletic Center, take on Lesite, as as the men's game will be underway shortly. So thanks for joining us in the OCAA women's volleyball game. I was your commentator, Dennis Jabbar, along with producer Leo, and we will be back shortly for the men's to take on Algonquin.